Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on this picture perfect Saturday afternoon here in sunny Hallandale Beach, Florida. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you. The gang is all here. I mean, Brian, it feels good to have everybody back.
Yeah.
You're back, Ron's here, Ed's in the office. We've got everybody here to make it a fantastic day at the races, and even more so, Brian, it's a mandatory Rainbow Six today.
Yeah, we had 3 days of racing to get through. We did so. Good 3 cards, but now today's a whopper of a card, too.
Yeah.
You want to come out here if you're thinking about it, if you're local and you're thinking about coming out. I strongly advise you doing so because there could be a couple superstars that you're going to see.
Yeah, already some,
Today.
I think. Yeah.
So this is a fun card, and there's that mandatory kicking off in race 7, 3:15-ish, 14-ish. 5 million firmly in play. I like it. It's a fun sequence. It's a sequence where you're going to see our tickets, or at least mine. I think there's singles. I think
Me
there's
too,
races where you can spread so that you can't lose if you hope for the chaotic, unfathomable outcome. And I think as a gambler, that's what we like to see. So very, very looking forward to that a little bit later on today.
Yeah, and we'll zip through the first half of this card here, starting off with your early pick 5, Brian, and we'll get into it.
We'll take a look at it here, and you're going to see kind of this is what I was almost talking about a little bit later on. You've got a couple spreads to kick off the day. Race 2, the top pick is the 2 speed figures. We might pop that field in race 2. In race 3, I've got the 9 on top. That is American Surfer. In race number 4, I have another 9 on top, and that is Gosker for Brendan Walsh, who could have a good day here, there, and everywhere. And in race 5, it is my best bet of the day, and I'll tell you what, it's an aggressive one because race 5 could easily be like race 2 for a lot of people, and that they're going to go 4 or 5 deep in there. But I'm going to best bet with the 3 Cajun Fantasy on what is a $40 early pick 5 ticket.
All right, I like it. Let's get into the opener. It's a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. 8,000 non-winners of 2. Not a lot of scratches, but the 6 is out. K's Storm ready, and the 10 for you. We just have our tries reversed a little bit.
Yeah, you know what happened with the 10 Guildenstern, and I don't know why. Maybe they were just trying something different, but he sprinted last time.
Yeah.
And the last thing Guildenstern wants to do is sprint, right? It was off a little bit. I don't consider it a layoff anymore, but the line is there, so take it. But now we're stretching back out. We're off the claim for Angel Rodriguez. Just a different barn, but I think he could be in a good spot today because his last route, albeit for different, and DJ and Joe Orsino do such a good job. That route in September the 29th was an effort that quite honestly probably wins this.
Yeah, I agree. The top 3 we have, I don't feel like a lot separates them. Linus Stray just finished second and against Blaze of Color. Both of those just kind of, the race runs through them, I think.
No doubt. Those are the 3, and then you can see we differentiate at the 4th line. But those 3 that we have, I think, are clearly the ones. If you want to just use those 3, I think you're supposed to get through.
Yeah, I think so, too. Now, race number 2, it's one of a couple pick 4s we have on the card. Brian will tweet that out. It's State Breds, allowance optional claimers, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta track here. We have a scratch of the number 5, and Joel Rosario will ride the number 8. That's kind of pertinent info, I think, here. So, getting into this now, the number 2 speed figures you have on top. Go for it, and we'll talk about a stat for Trombetta as well.
Well, I think Speed Figures is pretty aptly named because he's got it.
Yeah.
You got Paco here, so we're going to be aggressive. I think he can be the speed of the speed.
Yeah.
The barn is not firing.
No.
Just a statement of fact, but he's running underneath. And maybe not winning is a better way to put it because he's got 8 seconds and 4/3. I like this horse with Paco. He's ridden this horse before. The other thing, too, is this horse now is dropping out of 2 open company races. That is a big deal when you come back with your friends from Florida.
Yeah, it does. This is a weird horse to me because I did single him that day. I think that was a mandatory. Yeah, it was. I singled him that day, and that was when a horse of Dave Fox came up the rail in the grass. I thought that he just likes the grass a lot more. I think, honestly, he just might be cheaper. The good thing is he's in with State Breds today.
Yeah, he is, and that's going to be a big help.
Yep. No Heals the Soul for you. Let's pull up the replay. I love him today.
Okay.
But we'll get an eye on him. I mean, this
Yeah.
is an interesting horse. They have to bring him up a race early to saddle him. If he's giving him heck out there on the horse path, he's ready to roll. He did this day. I knew we were live as soon as I saw him trying to get saddled in his ways that he does. This was a really tough beat, Brian.
Yeah, for sure.
my
I mean, he
gosh.
did everything but win.
Yeah.
And he should have won.
He
quite,
did,
quite
yep.
honestly. Yeah, you got to watch him. You're right. If the real Heels of Soul shows up, he's a player. This is a much better group today, and I say that knowing darn well these are Florida breds.
Yeah,
I think
that's
this
true.
Is a good group.
Fast Fixer, I don't know where that win came from last time at all.
I had him.
You did?
Yep.
Oh,
He was
nice.
just a funky horse
Nice
that day,
job. I
and
forgot.
I had him
We've
that
slept since
day. He
then.
was my long shot. You said it. Joel's going to Hall of Famers getting aboard.
Yeah,
It's a big
that is
deal, and this is a horse that Joel is in the Hall of Fame for dragging home.
I
He's
was
such
going
a
to say
finishing
that
rider.
this is a horse that might get the absolute perfect setup, and Joel, you're not going to outride him down the lane.
No,
There's
that
no
is it. And
chance.
say a lot things, but Joel Rosario is as good a finishing rider as you're going to find.
Race number 3, it's maiden special weights on the grass. It's our first turf race of the day, and it's a good one. It's 2. Do you want to show your pick 5? We've got a pick 5.
Yeah, we got to
here.
let's
Yeah.
show this because it's
Yeah.
a big deal. Pick 5. Not only is it a mandatory payout, pick 5, but no computer assisted wagering
That's
in this
awesome.
pick 5,
Yep.
and that is a big deal. And as players, we like that. So here's the first 3 legs that you've already seen, but in race 6. I've got the 7 on top, and that is Valiant Winter for Orsino second out. And in race 7, which kicks off the Rainbow as well as the Tropical Turf pick 3, I would
That's a
like to
spread.
tell
Oof.
you I will be alive after the race because everybody with any kind of sort of hint of form is in my ticket. I do have the 11 flat top box on top
Oh.
with very, very little conviction,
Wow.
although the class drop is big.
It is big. So let's get into this race here. The one Love Actually is out. She'll play tomorrow, and all the AEs are out, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 9 American Surfer for you. I can say that on debut, this filly was nowhere near fit December 5th. That was my note on her.
Okay, well that's good because that's not my jam, but
Yep.
my thing is running lines, and she had a lot of it.
Yes.
She had a lot of it. And Sweet Coffee, who I don't know, we haven't seen her here. I don't know
No.
if she's where else she would be because she's a turf horse. She was darn good. The word was out, and she saw it out on the front end.
Yeah.
Now we're fresh. Now we have Lasix. Now we have, let me make sure, we've got Joelle. Good spot for this gal today.
Yeah, it really is. And this is very much a trip race
Yeah.
today. I absolutely love Me So Spicy. There's the work on the 10th of January, which was some time, but 47-2. And Brian, we talk about these works and what I like to see with them. You see 47-2, that doesn't excite me. It's the way that you do it. And she was just strangled down.
Yeah, this kind of, you mentioned her to me.
Yes.
That maybe a steam horse. She might be a lot lower than this price. This is a competitive race.
It is, yeah.
I almost picked her. She's fine. You have to use her. I didn't see anything at Keeneland that said to me she's all that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, she did bleed, so
Yeah.
we'll see. I think a horse, I know the horse that's going to take all the money is the 6 Elite Heat.
Sure.
My racehorse, when the horse is going to open up at nothing, but just don't let that fool you here. We'll look at a stat for Brad Cox. I mean, I just don't like when he's debuting a horse on the grass.
Yeah, I mean, and she got bet, but you don't know what that means, of course,
No.
because they all bet these horses. A good stat here, 27%. She ran very, very well. She has a running style that will like Gulfstream a whole heck of a lot more than she'll like Fairgrounds, much like Me So Spicy.
Yep.
You try to wire at Keeneland. It's a whole heck of a lot different than a couple hundred yards to our right here. But, yeah, this is just not the type of horse you want to play on top because of the underlay price. The beauty is anybody else you like in here is probably going to be a point or two higher because of the connections.
Yeah. Maytown, she's just one. There was a work on her on the 27th of December, so a lot of time has passed. She worked well, but she didn't work with anything to write home about. So we'll take a look at them in the paddock before getting into.
And she's a homebred, too.
Yeah,
so.
she is. So read into that what you will. But this is very much a trip race, like I said earlier, and I think that maybe the best horse might not win just due to the trip situation.
Without a doubt. But your horse has got speed, so I'm a little more at the mercy of what you're talking about than your horse. I think.
Yeah, I think if Me So Spicy breaks running, they're not catching her. I don't think. Now, race number 4, we have a pick 4 in this spot, and we'll quickly show my ticket here on what is a mandatory Rainbow Six Day. So exciting. $30 to play. Brian, in race number 5, just using 2 of them, I do have the 5 Air to the Roar on top. Race number 6, I have the 8 on top. That is my long shot, go win 1. And in race number 7, like you, I am spreading. It's funny because I don't have flat top box in there.
Wow.
But that's just, I guess, the nature of this kind of sequence. But $30 to play if you want to add. I'm not going to do the maths on that for you to add Brian's 11 top pick, but sharp guys.
Go put it
okay, $36. There you go. Might do that. Race 4, though, it's a great maiden special weight event. It's this 1-turn mile on the fast main track. We have a clear field of 9 here, and Brian, both of us on the 9, Gosger.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Pitkin is the horse to beat, which we'll talk about in a second, but Gosger for Brendan Walsh, who's, Brendan can win first out, but it's not always the M.O., but they bet this horse, big pedigree, Harvey's little Goyle and all that.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Good on the grass.
Good on the grass. Grade 1 winner on the grass. Going to add Lasix. The post is perfect, and you would expect some significant improvement today, and that puts Gosger, right in line with maybe what Pitkin's going to do today.
Yeah, especially with getting more ground for Gosger.
Exactly.
I think that's going to help a lot. You talk about Pitkin here. It comes off a competitive second-place finish, and this one, I mean, this horse was like trying to wire the field, and that's hard to do 6 furlongs.
This is scary what Pitkin did on debut because Ian Wilkes never, ever cares about winning first out. So if a horse, a homebred for the Withams, who've got Burnham Square, thank you. And this was the live race. Jimmy's Daily and Disruptor, the fastest horse in the world, who was about to not good at all. But Jimmy's Daily's a nice horse for Brian Lynch. The race goes through Pitkin, and if you're thinking Gosker's going to like a mile, well, Pitkin's going to like it as much, if not more.
We'll take a look at AP Kid, some AM activity here for the Todd Pletcher barn. John Velasquez is aboard here today. He's on the outside now. The horse on the inside is not much, but what I like about AP Kid and something that I think is good about this horse is there's a lot of sprint in this pedigree, so maybe we'll see some early stuff. The way he draws away, Brian, was actually pretty impressive here, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that horse on the inside was any good. It's very hard to debut going 1 mile, but this was a very strong work.
Yeah, and he's got a nice pedigree, and it's Todd. He's a half the bonus move.
Yeah.
He's more of a sprinter.
Turf sprinter.
Is a sprinter for Mark Hennig, and actually won on the Tapeta earlier in the championship meet as well. There are 2 horses, the 9 and the 3 that we've already talked about, that are going to take a lot of money. So it'll just tab what's going on with AP Kid, because it's Pletcher and John Velasquez, the Hall of Famer. So we'll see about him today.
Yeah, and also see about Capitol Hill, because this horse was schooling the other day and was a bit naughty. Didn't really have his mind on things. So
did not feel like being a racehorse the
yeah,
other day.
nope. So we'll see how he is today, and throw him in with 8 other horses, and we'll see. He might be a little bit of a handful. Now, race number 5, there's state-bred fillies, allowance optional claimers, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. We have a clean field of 8 here, Brian. The 3 Cajun Fantasy for you, coming out of the David's Rose race. If you believe in that race, it's a good one.
Yeah, this is my best bet. She had a lot of trouble in that race, too. She was close early and then checked back. She lost all chance, but she did run on late. The Narvaez barn has been very, very good. And it's a barn we're not really all that familiar with, but the barn has been very good. Won the stakes with Lightning Tones that you had. Very live race. Amore Control is just a freakish all of a sudden again. So that's a good race, as Samantha said, comes out of.
David's Rose and Heir to the Roar. Well, we'll start with Heir to the Roar. This horse, it was just a matter of maybe trying to do too much in that last race. I don't know. There was a lot of trouble.
I know, but she's always trying to do too much.
That's
now.
A good point.
Look at her running lines, and her speed is gone. This is a ginormous class drop for her today. Look at those gals she's been facing, and now she's in with Florida breds. She's so much the horse to beat in here. But she is all of a sudden now leaving herself with too much to do. She gets the extra half furlong today. That's a big positive. Boy, oh boy, she, Junior now, and Junior Alvarado's getting aboard for the first time. He's going to have to thread this needle just right.
Yeah, I think that the post will be okay.
Sure.
And so we'll see. It's a competitive race, but I think our supers are who you need.
Yeah, that's supposed to get you out of this race.
Race number 6, it's state bred maiden special weight horses, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. We scratched the 2 super forces and the number 4 Primordial. Take note, this is the second time Primordial scratched in at the races, but still a very large field. The 7 Valiant Winter. We'll look at the replay because there's a couple, Nishume and Sneaky are all coming out of this race. Valiant Winter ran huge.
Yeah, he did. And the other 2 guys in here, look at their form. They both had 5 lifetime starts.
Yeah.
So here's Valiant Winter, literally taking all the worst of it, and he was a first-time starter. So for him to run third, beating the length, for Joe Orsino, a guy, we talked about earlier some connections that aren't necessarily interested in winning. They're more interested in building foundations. Well, Joe's one of those guys
let's
as
look
well.
at the stat as you're talking about
here we
that,
go.
because this is just a good testament to this, I think, with the Orsino barn.
Yeah.
Second-time starters.
It's a big number, and now the post is a lot better.
Yep.
And, I have nothing against Sneaky or Nishume, but if you look at the 3 horses and you look at all 3 of them on paper, the only horse you want, at least if you're going to the window to bet to win, is Valiant Winter, because the other 2 are going to run the exact same race that they have now 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Valiant Winter's supposed to move forward.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I needed to find a price that I kind of liked here, and this was one of them that fit the bill with Go Win One. Just a new face. The work on the 5th of February, he never could go by his mate, but he was quick enough and showed a bit enough for me that I think maybe he'll fit with this field. We'll see. This is a barn that doesn't win first time out, hasn't really won a lot as of late, but I'm just thinking maybe, just maybe, something will have this horse kind of.
Sometimes they bet this barn.
They do,
1 for 52 on Tapeta. I can't make it. They paid
fine,
6 for this horse. Hey, quickly, what about the 10 Grand Magic? They paid almost $500,000. Kenny McPeak did this horse.
Yeah,
Jack Oxley.
Yeah, the horse on the 19th. That was the last work that I saw. He kept kind of like drifting out. So I'm not so sure about that. And he was not very fit. Now that was on the 19th. Sometimes, and I say this a lot, you can get away with not being 100% fit on the Tapeta.
Well, here's the other thing, too, just to pick up on that. He worked on the 19th. Kenny worked him 5 days again later.
Yeah.
And then he's been essentially on the 1-week drill. Barn doesn't win with first-time star. I shouldn't say that. He's 8%. I think we all think he never wins. He can win with the right horse. My point was, you're not going to see a $475,000 son of Gervin in a Florida-bred race. If this horse can run a little bit, he is very, very scary against this group.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting, and see if he gets bet too.
Yes.
I would pay attention to that. The drifting out and being drawn on the outside in a 5 furlong sprint kind of worries me, tiny bit. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have everybody's mandatory Rainbow Six ticket. We'll get into the beast that is the latter half of this card, so don't go away.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Brian and Samantha with you, taking you through this mandatory Rainbow Six card, and we're going to get into the thick of it now with those mandatory Rainbow tickets. We'll start it off with Ron, Brian, and then we'll go to you, and then we'll go to me.
So I can talk a little bit about Ronnie's because we filmed a video, and it's out there, and here he is for 57.60. You can see he's spreading in what is a spread race in race 7, and Race number 8, he's got the main contenders. He did use Swan Lake and Spitzer Pro Clemente. Clearly the 10 is the horse to beat in there. He doubled up in race 9. I don't need anybody but Knightsbridge, but he also Ronnie was very adamant that Sharp Cookie is in good form, and I don't disagree with him. He ran very, very well in his last start. You can see he's going 3 deep in race 10. He mentioned Princess Bettina, but I do believe he's on the outside now. Clement had 2. He scratched the 12. He's got Eastern Empress. I'm very excited to see his single and my single, Grand Job.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah, who just looks
nice.
like she's going places in the Grade 3. In the Grade 3 later today, the Royal Delta. And then in a tricky finale, I know his long shot is a horse we're going to show you actually on a video, and that is the 4 Borrowed Time in a race. Okay, we're a race where he's going 4 deep in. So take note of that, and maybe 10-1 is going to be gone with 2 of the 3 picking that horse as well.
Well, we can only hope, and we'll take a look at your ticket now.
Yep, this is a take a deep breath and play this one if you want. There it is. I've got 3 very strong opinions in 3 races where I have 0 opinion whatsoever. If it's not in race number 8, if it's not Nerves of Steel, I don't know who it's going to be.
I am shocked at that.
Knightsbridge, I think, could be a champion this year if he's as good as when he was, so I don't have any intention of beating him. In race number 10, it's my long shot with the 3 Starship Agenda, but I can pretty much guarantee you I will be alive after the race. I'm not looking to beat. It's a solid renewal of the Royal Delta, but solid is not Grand Job. I think she's way more than solid, and if I'm fortunate enough to get to the last, I actually don't even have your horse. I don't like him at all, which is scary. I should put him back. I should put him in, actually.
Maybe,
But anyway, I do feel, unfortunately, that the 2 morning line favorites, Governing Party, the 2 and the 7 Papa Golf, are a cut above on a maiden special weight drop, but I've got coverage as well.
All right, we'll take a look at mine. Very quick, it's a $90 play here. I don't even have the 11 in the opening leg, and we'll get into this in just a second. Race number 8, I have the 9 on top. That is Spitzer Comite. I don't want to say that fast. I'm excited to talk about Nerves of Steel. I cannot stand this horse. Race number 9, Knightsbridge. We love him. We get to see him as he's like a comet. He just blasts through Gulfstream Park, and then we don't see him again for a year later. Race number 10, I do have the 4 on top. That is Candy Gray. Race 11, as Brian mentioned, Grand Job is a nice filly, I think. And in race number 12, I've got the 4 on top, Borrowed Time. So it's a $90 play. It also starts the Tropical Turf Pick 3. We'll just flash it very quick. The difference between the Tropical Turf Pick 3 is I'm just singling Borrowed Time at the end here. You can see in my rainbow, though, I spread. That is just maybe the horse that I trust the most in this grass event. But we'll get into race number 7 now after all of those tickets. A flat top box. Take it away.
Well, he's dropping in half. He gets a big help with 2 scratches, too. He's like the horse I like least. Dislike the least. How about that?
There we go.
Okay. I can't say it enough about Dylan Davis. He's been phenomenal, and he's done a great job working out trips on the turf. The post is not ideal with the rails at 45 feet, but the 2 scratches as well. They're all pretty much the same on paper,
they do look
and
good.
He gets a huge class drop today.
Yeah, he does. I do scratch into the 9. I had never say never on top. So this race is a tough one to me. I think that this is a pretty big trainer switch. So if he can get back to his form from last May, then he's the one to beat.
Look at the races with Fernando Abreu last, May and July. Now the problem is they were in maiden claiming races.
Right.
The other thing is, and I know Fernando's so good, Andrew Smithoff, who John of Imaginary uses in the Mid-Atlantic, he's actually okay too.
Yep.
So I don't know. There's the worry here is this horse could just be dreadfully off form because those 2 races at Delaware, by the way, against way lesser were horrible.
Yeah, he's going to have a real kind of very, very wide open and competitive 7th race. Now,
let's show Noble Tiger.
Okay.
Because this is the horse we want to see out of the replay.
Yep. We'll show him quickly. Now, this was in December here where he finished 5th. Now, the rails were at 0 feet this day. And
He had run.
He did.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
He had a lot of it. He was 23-1 in this race. He's going to be a price in here. I know the 2 scratches came out of this race, but he's the one I wanted to show, and that's why I left it in here. You have him in your mix, too.
I do, yeah.
He's the type of horse that could start your rainbow off at a very, very nice price, because I think with a clear run, he would have been right there.
Yeah, and when he finally switched leads,
Yes,
too,
good point.
he took off. Now, race number 8, it's the late pick 5. I'll tweet out my ticket. It's just a run back of my rainbow here, but 1 mile and 70 yards in this Tapeta route. The 6 Chapelou is out, but it still leaves a field of 10. The 10 on top for you, Nerves of Steel. You go for it.
It's just a huge class drop.
Yeah.
He's so much better than this field. It's just a huge class drop. You look at the horses he's running against, and the other thing I like too is it's Marty Drexler. He's going to put him where he's supposed to be, and the other thing is I'm gonna pick just wild holes through all your horses, and then when you could do that with the 10 too. But you know, we'll get to the rest of them. I just think the class drop here, and he ran. That was a crazy fast race last time.
It was. I do agree.
Yeah.
It really was. This horse. I know him from the Brendan Walsh barn. He's an absolute head
Marty
case.
told me the same thing yesterday.
He is. I can't even explain this horse. He is like a disease sometimes. He really can act just so bad, and he's hard on himself. So when I saw him here on January 19th, he was actually like acting okay. But I mean, if Marty can get this horse to win, I mean, hats off to him. This is a weird horse. When he decides to run, he's good, but he's way too mentally unstable for me. I'm staying away. And the 9 Speitster Comete. We'll look at the replay because these two. Well, Speitster Comete rallied way too late here.
Yeah, to me the replay is more about Swan Lake because it's a statement of fact now that Swan Lake is not the same horse away from the Carlos David barn. So
Agreed.
Under no set of circumstances would he be on any ticket of mine today.
That's fair.
No disrespect to Scott Acker. It was good to see him get a win the other day. But Swan Lake was in with Jose D'Angelo last time, okay?
Yeah, couldn't
and
get
you
it.
just look at the form. The good races are all with Carlos David. And the other races, not only are they not wins, they're kind of sort of non-competitive efforts. He's a total play against today. Wouldn't be on any of my ticket. Your horse makes perfect sense, as you can see. I've got him. I could play this ticket for 3 times and use the 1 and the 9 too.
Warbeat might be sneaky.
Absolutely.
Actually, will be really sneaky. Comes off a win. I don't like the post position, but you get weight with Mika Husbands aboard.
Well, I like the post position. It's better than our 2 horses.
That's a good point. Actually, going 2 turns.
Yeah, the problem is it's not a layoff, but a little bit of a fresh thing. He's coming out of a 3L. These ain't no 3Ls.
No,
today,
these are. This is a big rise. But
Yeah.
I feel like confident that Sappy's putting him in a
absolutely.
spotlight because if he was an 8K non-winners of 3, he would have been in it
could
yesterday.
find that,
Race 9. We get into the late pick 4. Do you just want to tweet that out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing going on there.
1 mile on the main track. The one lure him in is a scratch, and as we alluded to, Knightsbridge. And we'll take a look at his last win here at Gulfstream, and I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, this is on May 28th, so you're allowed to say who cares about that. March 28th, thank you. Just watch this horse. He's in 3rd gear. By the way, C-Streak is a stakes winner.
Yeah.
Not that he's any great shakes, but I'm just making
Still.
a point here. This horse is going to be in a canter late.
Yeah.
He's got issues. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Some bone bruising or something like that. This is like a Ferrari running against some, I don't know. Yeah, something like that today. Okay, does he need the race? Yeah, he probably does. I don't care.
He did it last time.
He did it last time. He's never run against older horses, but they got him back in the Perryville. That was a pretty good race,
Very
actually. That's Keeneland. It's go time with him today, and I don't feel like they can bob and weave with this horse.
No,
He's obviously had
yeah.
issues.
Yep.
It's go time today, and just watch him. He's going to put on a show. I would be shocked if he loses.
Yeah, he's a beautiful horse too. So yeah, very very fun to watch. Underneath we differ in Vagel. You can't be happy with the rail
price.
draw now.
Yeah, just a price. Buck will figure it out.
Okay, Uno Mas Bourbon. I think this is too sharp, but maybe a nice little spot to come back in.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is a horse that has a world of class. I don't see him possibly winning today at a mile, but this
maybe
is
underneath.
Yeah, Ian's getting him ready for Keeneland probably, and he'll make a dent at Keeneland. But at a 1-turn mile at Gulfstream against Knightbridge, it's not. I don't think it's
happening.
today.
Race 10, a mile and a 16th on the turf course here. Their allowance optional claimers, a competitive race for the fillies and mares, and it's the 3 for you, Starship Agenda. Wow.
A stab, a long shot.
Oh, is this your long shot?
This is.
All right, I like it.
She's had 2 fair goes of it on the turf here, and they were pretty darn good efforts, especially the race in April. Can she get back to it? I don't know, but she didn't run poorly in her Tapeta return.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Dwoskin got a win the other day. She's second off the layoff. I think she's good on turf. She's well drawn. She's a price, and they are literally all the same horse on paper.
They really are. The 4 we both have in the mix, Candy Gray. Look, she finally got on the podium last time. I think this is finally the confidence she needed to take another step forward.
She's dangerous.
She's very
dangerous.
dangerous.
Because you're going to have to run her down,
Yep.
and as we've seen for months now, that's very difficult to do out there.
Yep, and she's found her calling with the grass course. I think the other Saffie Joseph horse could be a little dangerous. We'll take a quick look at Princess Bettina here because she finished 3rd last time in a tough race where the winner just ran off.
Yeah, and I think what's going on with Princess Bettina, too, for Brian Lynch, she's finding her form again.
Yep.
So she's now 3rd start off a layoff. I know this was a state-bred race, but Ashima was really good.
Oh, my God.
And Great Venezuela is very good.
Yep.
So this was a solid effort. It was a wake-up effort. It wouldn't shock me at all if she goes favored in here, and it's a good post for the Hall of Famer John Velasquez because he is so adept at working position into the first turn,
Yeah.
and if that puts him outside of Candy Gray, she's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, could sit just a really, really nice trip. Race 11, it's the Grade 3 Royal Delta, a mile and a 16th on the main track, a feature race, a great one at that. The 2 Dream Concert is out, but who remains is the 8 Grand Job. I thought I put in the replay.
I think we have it because
Okay.
I put it in the. I might not have put it on the schedule. Do we have the Grand Job replay, guys?
If we do, guys, that we can put it up. But
We'll
if
put
not,
it-
it's not a big deal.
We'll put it up later. This is okay.
Yep.
We don't have it. We get it probably later.
There's nothing much to see other than she's just running off.
Yeah, she's won her 2 U.S. races by a combined 14 1/4 lengths. She's going to try 2 turns today for the first time, but this is not. It's 2 turns in theory.
Right.
It's not 2 turns in reality with such a short stretch finish line, and she's got the speed to just make the. Well, you talked to Junior the other day, right?
Yeah.
He was oozing confidence.
Yeah,
with this horse.
yeah, she's nice, very, very nice. I cannot believe that she only sold for $105,000. She must have been, just in 2022 as a yearling, just not put together well. And but that just goes to show that, look, they've done a fantastic job with her since bringing her in the USA.
Yeah, if you want to play devil's advocate, she'll be a wildly short price.
Right.
And the 2 races in the U.S. were with LASIK. So, you're
You
allowed
wanna-
to do
yeah.
that at a short price. You're allowed to look around. I just felt like the problem if you're looking around and you can see underneath why this is a testament to what I'm saying right now. If it's not her, who is it? Because we're giving you 5 different horses.
Do you want to see American Retro?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. American Retro, I cashed a huge bet on last February on the grass with this mare. I like her much better on the grass.
Yeah, she ran okay here, but she's got a good post position as well. Such a quick run into the first turn. The horse that beat her, Dream Concert, scratched out of
Yep.
this race. The reason why I like American Retro, and again, it is not by any stretch of the imagination to win this race.
Right.
She has a running style that you have to be close at this trip here.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be bothered by Grand Job going to the lead where some of these other horses might be under a hard chase and just get completely fried.
Yeah, and the Saffie Joseph contingent is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, dazzling move. This is a big trainer change.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Safi's got 3 of them, and she's a big threat as well if the favorite, doesn't fire. Your horse, Miss New York, is a lot like my horse, the 1 underneath, in that she's not too interested in being involved up front, so she can pass some horses late.
Yeah, exactly. She might run out of a little bit of
Right.
real estate. Now, the finale on this mandatory Rainbow 6-day $75,000 maiden claiming event, a mile and a 16th. These are for the 3-year-olds here. We have the scratch of the 1813 colonies. Hopefully you're alive to this point. The number 2 governing party for Chad Brown.
Yeah, this horse had some trouble last time. Bumped
some big
repeatedly.
trouble.
I
Yep.
didn't like the race, but had a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Lasix, special weight dropper, and a good post, and a great finishing rider in Joel. Like I said, I thought the 2 and the 7, the 2 maiden special weight droppers are going to be the ones in here. But you Ron's long shot, and your top pick is the 4 Borrowed Time.
Yeah, we'll look at the replay here. I thought that he ran really well. My notes on this horse was that he was going to win next out. So we'll see. I had a couple of those this week that didn't happen for me. But the 2 horse in this race here, and this was the first turf try for the barn here. And this horse ran really well, Brian. That's why in my Tropical Turf Pick 3, I did single this horse. Very, very game. Very game. That was a tough beat there.
Yeah, I didn't.
You think he kind of pulled himself up?
Yeah, I don't think he had any trouble either. I just think that there's. And here's the other thing with Borrowed Time, okay? This is a good stat, too. And you're right. It was I'm beating up a horse that's 10-1 on the morning line.
Right.
So that in and of itself is silly. The problem with Borrowed Time is that was a watered-down 50 race.
Yep.
This race today is the best 75 race you'll ever see here.
Yeah, that's
there
fair.
are like 3 legitimate maiden special weight horses coming out of special. Look at 13 Colonies is out, so I'll say there's 2 of them now.
Yeah, Papa Golf.
Yes, and Papa Golf. So that's the problem for the Borrowed Times of the world. This is a giant class rise for him.
Yeah, I don't like the blinkers on Papa Golf. I don't like the blinkers on Back in the Saddle either. 2 third-place finishes. Yep. That's 12 of them for you on this mandatory Rainbow Six day. It's such a fun card. We'll take a very quick look at the lightning round to give Pete some time to do the scratches and changes. But, of course, we'll say it till your ears bleed. A mandatory Rainbow Six that does kick off in race number 7.
Yeah, that's going to be around, it's 3:14 is the post time. It's going to be closer to 3:20 or 3:25, but, you'll have plenty of time.
Yep.
We've got videos. We've got tickets, and the pool will be $5 million or over, and it's a great sequence for everybody. If you're on a budget, heck, my ticket's $43.20.
Yep.
If you're not on a budget, you can go 10 times that if you want, and I love those kinds of days.
Yep, I do too. And also the Saturdays, we've got Beat the Expert. I believe Ron is in the hot seat here today. So sign up online for Beat the Expert and try to pick more winners than Ron in the last three races. And the Coast to Coast, this is a good one too here today. Between Santa Anita here in Gulfstream, and it does include our Grade 3 Royal Delta, Brian.
Yeah, less than 2 hours, which we love.
Love
and
it.
as you mentioned, includes the big one here today, the Grade 3.
And a retail only, no CAWs, which is awesome. Tropical Turf Pick 3 in play. It starts off the same race as the Rainbow Six, so just take note of that in race number 7, 7, 10, and 11 today. Your best bet.
Yeah, my best bet's not rainbow-wise. I could have had them, but they're all very, very short prices, so I have a little bit better in Cajun Fantasy. 53, race number 5, the 3 Cajun Fantasy.
All right, mine's Heals the Soul in race number 2. We'll take a look at him, see if he's behaving or not behaving in your long shot.
My long shot is in the Rainbow Six.
All
it's
right.
in that doozy of a turf race, race 10, the 3 Starship Agenda.
All right, and mine's a little bit earlier in the maiden race. That's Go Win 1, race number 6. That's 12 of them for you. We'll be with you all day. Ron Nicoletti will be out for the opener. Thank you so much for joining us, for being here. Enjoy the wonderful racing we have in store for you today here at Gulfstream Park on Grade 3 Royal Delta Day and Mandatory Rainbow Six Day.